Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. How are we all doing this Sunday evening? What a day it's been. It feels like a very long day. Obviously being an England fan, the couple of beers at lunchtime, the 6-1 win, the shock, the surprise, and then we're live tonight. Japan, Senegal, very good game. A very good game, Senegal, for Japan. I will keep calling them Senegal. I don't know why. I've been in trouble with that this afternoon in the pub as well. Force of habit. But 2-2 in that game means those two have got 4 points. Poland and Colombia have got no points. If they both drew tonight, we could end up in a weird situation where all 4 teams have 4 points on Wednesday. We could also end up in a situation where if Poland or Colombia lose tonight, they are out. They cannot catch up. So really interesting to see how it's going to go. I need to check how I'm doing in the Predictor League. I've not given up. I refuse to give up. I've got to fight for it, but I can't remember what my score prediction was for tonight. Yes, I can. I've just seen it. So, okay. All right, I'm doing that. And I got Japan-Senegal right as a draw. Senegal, sorry. 1-1 I went. It was 2-2. So, okay. Okay, I can see what I've done there. But how are you all doing anyway? Team news is obviously in, as you can see. And we are ready to go for another game. I've been looking forward to this one pretty much since the tournament started. This has been my guilty pleasure, this group, I suppose, because I want Colombia and my Mexico as well. I wanted Colombia to do well in this tournament. They're struggling a little bit at the moment, but I did want them to do well. And with the Japan result against Colombia and the Senegal result against Poland, I was looking at this game thinking, shit, you know, one of these teams lose, they're going out. And a lot of people felt that Poland and Colombia would go through, and they still can. For them both to go through, they have to draw tonight and then beat their respective Japan and Senegal games. And then if they beat them well enough, they could still go through. I don't think we're going to see Poland and Colombia going through, though, because I don't think they will conceivably think, oh, let's play for a draw and do it in the last game. They know if they win the game, they've got a very good chance. So, Szczesny in goal for Poland. Piszek, Bednarak, Pazdan, Barański, Krawczuk, Goralski, Rybus, Zelensky, Lewandowski, Kaunachi. Probably that sounds Japanese. Kaunaki. I can't do it. Anyway, Colombia, Ospina, Arias, Mina, Davinson Sanchez. How he's playing. He was rubbish the other day. Plays for Spurs. Majica, Aguila, Barrios, Cuadrado, Quintero, Rodriguez, Falcao. Quintero scored the goal, didn't he? The free kick in the game against Japan. I was impressed with him. Cuadrado effectively came off because of the red card. Rodriguez came on. They've still got very good players. I mean, you look at the bench again. Backer's on the bench. Muriel's on the bench. So good team, Colombia. There's no reason Colombia cannot be as good as a Mexico in this tournament. But they've got to turn up in this game tonight. And the thing that worried me about Colombia a little bit was that they defended so badly and they didn't move the ball around very well as well. So they've got a long way to come back. PJ7 highlights. Szczesny is playing in goal for Poland. Yes, he is. So that's happening. Japan can beat Poland, says Tam Trainer. I've been impressed by Japan, I've got to say. I thought there was times today where Senegal looked like they were going to run away with it, and Japan came back twice. And they beat Colombia in a little bit fortuitous situation. There's Rene Higuita there. Little bit of a fortuitous situation for them, I must admit. It was a little bit lucky for Japan having to play 85 minutes against 10 men. And they effectively worked them down in the end. But that could be really interesting, because if Japan do beat Poland, and they will top the group, and that means that probably Belgium will get them, and England will end up with whoever comes second. So that's, from an England perspective, who do you want to play out of this group so far? Everyone's talking Senegal and Japan, but I fancy that if Colombia or Poland get a win tonight, they can win their next game and get themselves right back into it. So we are one of a left foot watch as well. Yep. Colombia versus Poland. Watchalong. I'm just sharing it out a bit. Just share it out, please. That'd be really appreciated. So it's the old cliche, isn't it? It's the old do or die. It really is the old do or die for both these teams. You lose, you're out. You draw, you've still got a chance if you draw. If they draw, they've still got a chance because it's still in their hands. And if they win their last games, both of them, then they could basically knock Senegal and Japan out. It's a very interesting group, this. And as the archetypal group of death, would it really be a surprise if they did end up with all 4 points? But for that to happen, they'd have to draw tonight. If someone wins tonight, the loser goes home. It's as simple as that. Those are the rules. So, come on, Colombia, says Chris Windle. Dean Kazabath says, you've only seen one game from Poland. Let's wait and see tonight. Yeah, I think both of them could be in a situation where they've not produced their goods. Colombia have only played with 10 men in this tournament, apart from the first 5 minutes. Poland, that Senegal winner was a bit fortuitous, wasn't it? So neither of these teams will want to go home after 2 games, will they? So I don't know what Roy Keane said, Scott, but yes, I do agree with you. He is a one-off. Absolutely brilliant. I don't know whether Roy Keane and Gary Neville get on. It's hard to tell when you watch them, isn't it? But Jared's just messaged me there saying that if with that draw for Japan and Senegal, it opens this group up absolutely perfectly for Colombia or Poland to win. It means the last day is going to be absolutely amazing. 3 o'clock on Thursday it will be. Right, let's have a look where we are at with this. Okay. Poland versus Colombia. So give us your score predictions. Which way do you think this is going to go? It's hard. It's hard to know which way this will go because both of these teams have been quite fancy to do well in this tournament. Certainly Colombia. I've got a horrible feeling Colombia are going to go home. I just think it's that European World Cup host, and I have a horrible feeling Colombia will go home. Having said that, there seems to be, I don't know whether it's because it's Russia or what, there seems to be a lot of South American support. There's a lot of Poland support, but there seems to be more Colombian support. And I don't know if anybody has a grasp on why that is, because it seems a little bit weird to me that we have Peru basically took over the stadium against France, who France is quite close to Poland. So I think it's really interesting how that has worked out, to be honest. Anyway, we are about 5 minutes away from kickoff, and then I can tell you my score prediction. I'm just logging myself onto something here that I need to use when I'm live, and then we're good to go. Big game. Really have been looking forward to this. Really have. No lies. I have been looking forward to this game for a long time. A lot of Colombian fans at the stadium, says Luke Skywalker. Must-win game for Colombia tonight, says Ed Woodward. Sebastian Bonnell Vend said 1-1. PJ7 Highlights says 2-2. I'll be happy with the draw. I'll be happy with the draw because I think it would make the last round of games really interesting, because then Poland and Colombia will be on 1 point. Senegal and Japan on 4 points. But Poland play Japan and Colombia play Senegal. So if Colombia beat Senegal and Poland beat Japan, they're all on 4 points, which would be amazing. Another Colombian great there, Valderrama. So a draw probably is the best result for somebody who wants a really exciting game. It will still have an exciting element anyway. It would basically be, if Colombia win, it would mean Colombia-Senegal would be a real one-off game, knockout game really. Win it and you're through, lose it and you're out. Same as Poland win tonight. Poland-Japan becomes that. Kieran Brook wants England to come second. It's only going to happen if they lose to Belgium. I think both teams will put their reserves out. I really do. What a day for England, though. Or shall we expand it to Britain? I don't think Scots and Welsh and Northern Irish want to be. So, what a day for England. 6-1 to England. Lewis Hamilton winning the Grand Prix. So, good. And I think the cricketers are doing well as well. Prince R9 is gone 2-1. I'd rather one team win and one team lost, says Ricky Clarkson. It's very hard to want to draw anyway, isn't it? Because I was watching the Japan-Senegal game, and I was like, draw's the best result. But in some ways, maybe it wasn't, because if one of them had won it, I don't know. It gets all a little bit complicated, doesn't it? But I certainly, I just want to watch and enjoy the game, and I'd like to see a winner. Of course, I'd like to see a winner. That's what we're all about, isn't it? So, we're getting very close to kick-off, 2-0 now. I'll tell you what, though, I wouldn't mind England playing Senegal, because they cannot defend. They cannot defend, can you? Okay, I'm with you, folks. I'm with you. We're about to kick off. I need to get my timer on. But lovely day, lovely atmosphere in this stadium. You look at it. You've got 2 sets of fans there who are looking really, really up for this, which they will do. Packed out stadium, yellows, whites, and reds. Bring it on! Another cracking game. Another end to another brilliant day in the World Cup for us. We've been really blessed. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the best World Cup ever yet, because that's wrong to do that. It really is, because we don't know what's going to happen in the knockout stage. But with regards to the group stage, it's been fantastic. I think this week coming up is going to be peaks and troughs. I don't know what Uruguay-Russia will be like tomorrow. Will they go for it? They don't know. Uruguay-Russia tomorrow at 3 o'clock is a bit of a blind alley, because they don't know what they're playing for. They don't know whether they're playing to play Portugal or Spain yet. So a little bit of a difficult situation for them. But Portugal, Iran tomorrow night. Bit of Ronaldo. You can join me at 7 o'clock. And then I think there's a couple of groups, isn't there? Argentina's group, Brazil's group. This group where it's going to be very, very exciting in the 3rd round game. So bring it on. But Colombia have got to turn up. Colombia are a good team. They were one of my tips to do well in this tournament. I wanted them to go quite deep into the tournament, and they're going to have to raise their game. They're going to have to raise their game. But we are off. We are up and running, so to speak. And your timer's running, which is great. Live comments is running well. We've got about 350 people watching, which isn't bad for a Sunday night game, which I think is going to be the game of the day. But, you know, not everybody's a football culture vulture, are they? So let's see how it goes. Please do share the video. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to try and get to 39,000 subscribers tonight, which is probably a bit of a big ask, but you never know. I said big ask, not big ass. So let's get it on. First 30 seconds. Colombia playing in blue. Poland playing in white. Poland very much an unknown quantity, as somebody said in the live comments. Jonas says that Colombia is going to lose. If Colombia lose and go out, they're not the team I thought they could be. So I get nervous in the first 5 minutes around the penalty box with Colombia, but decent cross coming in there. And Davinson Sanchez having to get his head on it. It wasn't Davinson Sanchez, actually. It wasn't. It was number 13, which is Mina. Davinson Sanchez is 23 and Mina's number 13. But they've got to get their grips together, Colombia. They've got to grip their shit a bit, really, here, because they do not want to be going down 1-0. And Poland are not a bad side themselves. Another cross into the box. Not a bad one. Cleared. Cuadrado. Can you turn that down a bit, whoever's in there? Please, thank you. But it's all Poland at the moment in the first few minutes. Lewandowski, not many people happy with Lewandowski in the first game against Senegal, so he's got to show what he's all about. Maybe he's putting himself in the shop window, I don't know. Veli Southwood says the most exciting team so far is Japan. Quick, fast football. Very impressed with Japan. I don't think they've really got the quality to go deep into the tournament, but the way they play football is a real advert to the lesser nations, that you can be a lesser nation and you can still train and teach decent football, and the way they pass and move is really good. Come on, get up. It's only a ball to the nuts. Does hurt, actually. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a story here. I had trials when I was about 15 years of age for Northampton Town, and I wasn't really a centre back, but was playing centre back because they play you out of positions. And the first 5 minutes, I was up against really good players as well. I had a really good first 5 minutes. I was like winning headers and stuff, which was never really what I was all about. And then, about 5 minutes in, the ball comes onto the left-hand side. The right-back's out of position. The left winger's running on to hit it. And I just dived across with my legs open. And from about 10 yards, he blasted it and it went straight in my nuts. And no word of a lie, I went over to my stepdad on the touchline. I said, I've got to come off. I've got to come off. I feel absolutely physically sick. There's nowhere I want to be. I don't want to be a footballer anymore. I just want to curl up in a ball. And he was like, you've got to carry on. You've got to carry on. I've driven you all this way. And I did carry on, but my head just wasn't in it. Like, literally, it was up until half time before I got back to normal again. It really does hurt. Anyway, I diverse a little bit from I digress. Poland still sort of dictating the play a bit here. I mean, maybe Colombia aren't going to be the team I thought they were going to be, or maybe I've got it wrong. It does sometimes happen. James Rodriguez is number 10, so keep an eye out on that. Oh, here we go. Poland into the box. Colombia just look really run ragged already. Cross coming in. Bit of a high header from Lewandowski. Ospina's just gone down here. I don't know what just happened there. He had the ball. Looked rather innocuous. Header from Lewandowski. It's in Ospina's hands. He goes to do something a little bit quick and just gets caught by the Polish player. I think he trod on his foot by accident. There's nothing in it. Bit of a waste of time. Kane Canning says, love the streams, keep them coming. Cheers, pal. Remember, subscribe if you're new. We're doing a watch along for every single World Cup game. Another, I think tomorrow it's 2 a day now. 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock kickoffs have gone. They were my favourites. I was loving the 1 o'clock kickoffs. I do feel a little bit sad. We're not even halfway through the World Cup, are we yet? Technically, we might be because we've had a lot of games, but we're not halfway through yet. I refuse to believe we're halfway through until at least the knockout stage. But losing the 1 o'clock kickoffs, it's made me so sad. I'm really sad about it. I'm going to really miss this World Cup. I've loved it, and I think the first week is always the best anyway, isn't it? So many games, and you know what? I think it's great the amount of people have got involved, the amount of people are watching the watch-alongs, the amount of people you talk to in the streets who are loving the World Cup, because it's been brilliant. And I think just immerse yourself in it, just enjoy it for these next couple of weeks, because it's every 4 years. Like the Euros, they're nowhere near. They're not the World Cup, the Euros. And this World Cup's been great. And let's not forget, the next World Cup's not. It's 8 years till we get a good World Cup again, because the next World Cup is in 4 years, but it's at Christmas, and it's in 4.5 years. And it's going to be boiling hot, and the European teams are going to really struggle. So this World Cup really is the best World Cup we're going to get for the next 8 years. It's been absolutely brilliant. So just enjoy it, and everyone who's watching on the That's Football watch-alongs, just keep tuning in, keep spreading the word, sharing the videos, because we've got a great community, and I hope we get a good game tonight, but I also hope we get a few contentious issues, because I think that's been the great thing I've enjoyed about this tournament so far as well. There's another dive here. Colombia seem to be diving a lot. Lewandowski. I think he trod on his hand by mistake. Mina. Wow. I don't know whether he trod on his hand by mistake. He trod on his hand. Man United said he's acting like he got shot. I don't like all the diving in that Red Jedi. He's up now anyway. Air-conditioned stadiums in Qatar, says Albert Einstein. Yeah, well, that'll help. But you know what I mean, though? It's when it is. I like the World Cup. I like to have a domestic season, get the Champions League out the way, and you watch the World Cup in the summer, and it makes the summer whiz by in relation to the domestic season. It's great, and you just box yourself off for the World Cup for a few weeks. What we're going to do, we're going to start a season in August, have a World Cup in December, start our season again in January, and then in the summer we're not going to have a World Cup. So I don't like that. This game will end a draw, says Crispin. England can go all the way, says Celine. Yeah. The thing about England is I was very relaxed. Me and Marcus today were quite relaxed, and I think a lot of people in the live comments were, because it was Panama. We were always going to win it, and I was very relaxed. But I tell you what, when we get into the knockout stages, you'll see a different side to me, because I just know if England go to penalties, they're out. It's a psychological block. Oh. James Rodriguez, he's offside. Active Dan's not happy with all the fouls. Lewandowski didn't get a yellow card, did he? I don't think he did. For those saying he did, I don't think he did. No, he didn't. I think the Qatar World Cup will be great in relation to the stadia and everything like that, because they've got all the money, but I just don't like the thought of a Christmas World Cup. I really don't. Or, well, I keep saying Christmas, obviously. December World Cup. Pancad says, Mark, you could have been a footballer. Why did you give up? I couldn't, mate. I'll put my hands up and say I couldn't. I was good, but my biggest problem, and I don't think we get many people watching under the age of 16, but if you're under the age of 21, my biggest advice I'd ever give to anybody is that I didn't really start believing in myself until I was about 24. And I certainly didn't believe in myself at 14, 15, 16. And when you're playing football with lads who are confident and believe in themselves and you don't, it's a massive thing. And I didn't have people around me who did either. So I just didn't have the backbone to do it. And that sounds really bad because I take the piss out of Arsenal all the time, but maybe it's because I know. I didn't. I was a good player, but I just didn't have the mindset at the age you needed to have the mindset when I was having trials and stuff. I didn't have the fight and I didn't have the belief, and that's why I always accept that I wasn't good enough to make it because of that, because that's the extra bit you need. Or you need somebody around you who's going to get that out of you. So I'm always sympathetic of an Anthony Martial or someone like that, because I mean, they've made it, but I know the sort of personalities that everybody's different, and some personalities you get the best out of them by protecting them and putting an arm around them. So anyway, a little bit deep there, as this game is a bit at the moment. Poland are the better team. I'm not impressed with Colombia at all in this first 10 minutes. They're no Mexico. The thing with Colombia is I don't know what their sort of I haven't watched Colombia a lot. I don't know what their qualifying record was or anything like that. But what I've always known about Colombia, in 2014 especially, that they're a good footballing side, and they're not. They just look like a bunch of bruisers. They can't get hold of the ball, and it's a bit of a worry. Joe H is watching the game on the sofa, listening to That's Football. Great, that's what you should do. Tekker's boy wants a shout out. Red Manchester can have a shout out. I'm just going to do a random few, just pick a few names. Luca is here as well. Colombia are better players than Mexico but aren't performing, says Anaban. I know, it's really weird about Colombia. They didn't do particularly well in the qualifying. I just wanted to have a quick look here. They 18 games, and they actually finished below Argentina, which probably tells you the truth about Colombia then, because they had 28 points and Argentina had 28 points, Colombia had 27, Peru had 26, Chile missed out on goal difference. They had 26 points as well. Paraguay had 24 points. So literally 3 points separating Paraguay, Chile, Peru and Colombia. And Paraguay and Chile didn't come. Colombia played 18 games like everybody else. They won 7, they drew 6 and they lost 5. They can, yeah. It's a very, very good qualifying area, South America, when you look at the teams that didn't make it. But yeah, maybe they're not all that. Maybe they're not all that, Colombia. I don't know. Doing a little bit net better now. Here's Cuadrado looking to put a cross in. I'm not convinced about Falcao, you know. I'm not convinced that Falcao is the right man for them. When they've got Muriel and Bacca, I don't know whether Falcao, whether he's getting picked on reputation or not, I don't know. Anthony Martial says Japan won't go through, it'll be Colombia. Japan have been really good and Senegal have been very good, but they're not through. They're not through, even with 4 points. You need, after 2 games, if you want to be definitely through, you've got to have 6. We should boycott the next World Cup because of the atrocities occurring in Qatar, as said Vishnu. People said the same thing about Russia, though, didn't they? I don't know whether football ever should be political, to be honest. Quavers12 has just bought a Lozano Mexico shirt. I think that's the interesting thing about this week, is we're going to be able to start mapping who's playing who and what routes they're going to have. And I think Portugal and Spain have got relatively good routes through to the semi-finals when I looked at it before, but it could all work out a different, yeah. John, I'm not on the beers tonight. No, I had quite a lot of beers at lunchtime, so somehow managed to sober myself up once. So I've been out in the sun this afternoon. It's going to be an absolute scorcher in the UK this week. So yeah, just to remind people, 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock are the kickoffs this week, and I think that's pretty much it for the rest of the World Cup. 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock is how it goes. Although I think the World Cup final is at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. So yeah. We're getting to the business end of the tournament now, not the end, but you know, like, it's pretty much a lot of the games now are win or bust, aren't they? And it starts tonight with this game. Decent cross coming in, cleared by Poland. Colombia doing a little bit better now, and I think that will be a corner ball, or is it a goal kick? Goal kick. Bit better from Colombia. Could James leave Bayern Munich, says Mike R. I did a video on this on the United Stand and I got a bit of stick for it because it wasn't actually from the papers. It was a theory that I had, because when Manchester United play Man City in the derby in April, Manchester United's official Spanish account at half-time just put out a tweet saying James Rodriguez, which is a really weird thing to do. On top of that, James Rodriguez has got a 2-year loan at Bayern Munich with an option to buy. He's not had a terrible first season for them, but he's not always starting games. Bayern Munich have got a new manager. If that new manager doesn't want Rodriguez, he goes back to Real Madrid. Real Madrid have got a new manager. I don't think the new manager will want James Rodriguez when he's got to deal with Bale and Ronaldo first, and he's an ex-Spanish manager who will love Isco and Asensio. So if Bayern Munich don't want Rodriguez, and I don't think Real Madrid will, they'll be looking to sell him. And if he's available, then that's when. Why would United not be in for him? But having said that, United just keep continually getting linked with people like Neymar, Ronaldo, Bale, Mbappe. So I don't know, but I'd take Rodriguez. I think he's just giving a pass away there, but I think he'd suit the Premier League really, really well. He's got to be very careful though, James Rodriguez, because he's on a yellow card, and he'd miss their next game, which they need to win. So he has got to be careful. It wasn't James Rodriguez anyway. I'm getting mixed up with the numbers here. It was 20, which is Quintero. Cuadrado crosses. Quintero is 20 and Rodriguez is 10. They're quite similar players actually, in the way they move the ball about. So yeah, always have to refresh myself with who plays where and for what country. Let me get Colombia up. They'll be down near the bottom. So Quintero plays for River Plate. Yeah, I knew I didn't know him. I don't watch Argentinian football. Mina is playing for Barcelona. Yerry Mina. I've never heard of him before. Barcelona apparently, so he must be a backup player. Davinson Sanchez obviously plays for Tottenham. Ospina, Arsenal. I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper, to be fair. My prediction was a 2-1 Colombia win, Anvish. So there you go. PJ7 highlights really wants Cuadrado to score. It's going to be a corner here for Poland. Quite an even open to this game. I don't think we've seen the performance from either team yet that makes you think, oh. Wilf says United fans should want Colombia to lose, so James James is free of World Cup duties and ready to be signed. Well, yeah, there is that, isn't there? I mean, teams will start to come home, I suppose, soon. Jack Brown, yeah, that 11 AM game was good, wasn't it? That was last Saturday against France, wasn't it? Mark Goldbridge says, discuss that Kovacic has a 300 million release clause. Check it out. Well, that's all a bit new because apparently he has a 45 million release clause. So I'll take a note of that later for the United stand because that was not the information we had yesterday. Oh, Colombia on the attack there, and it's a poor ball. Oh, reverse pass there by Quintaro, who started off quite well. He certainly started off a bit better than Rodriguez. So, still 1-0. Still 0-0, sorry. We've not had a goal. But Colombia have got better in this game. I thought the first 10 minutes they were a bit sloppy. They've got better. I like their kit. It's very much like the United away kit of... was it last season when we had the blue kit? I think it was, yeah. It's quite similar, isn't it? Is Falcao past it, says Shaka Phillips. Very relevant point. Very relevant point. There's Mina. Has anyone know much about this Mina, the centre-back, number 10? Plays for Barcelona. I've never really heard about him anything more. Dean Sidder, I'm with you. I've always wanted James Rodriguez at United as well, but I just can't see it happening for some reason. He's got the same agent as Mourinho as well, so you'd think if Mourinho rated him, it could happen easily. That's a foul there. I think the ref doesn't really want to give any yellow cards, does he? Colombia seem to want to get yellow cards, probably a bit aggrieved themselves that Quintaro again, Megs, that they had the... I don't know, Colombia against Japan, even if it was 11 against 11, I don't know. I don't know, it's hard to say whether Colombia would have won it. They've got some good players though, Colombia. Put it in. Put the boss in. Put the cross in. Oh, lovely bit of play there. Quintara Cut back. Oh, that's better. That's better. That's more what I was expecting from Colombia. That's better. I like Quintero and James Rodriguez. They're running the show a bit at the moment, but Poland looking to attack on the break here if they get that right. And that'll be another corner for Poland on the break. Lindhall thinks that James was desperate for United, but we weren't in for him, so doubt Jose wants him. Anaban says that Colombia are going to win the World Cup. Mark, my dream is to become the greatest manager of all time and manage Manchester United someday. Do you have any advice? Says LeBorn Tams. I haven't. I've never managed Manchester United, unfortunately. And to be honest with you, the way punditry works, the way that football works, I think if you've not played the game, it's a bit of a closed shop. Japan would beat England, says James Will. I think it's very hard to say how good England are, how good Belgium are. I think a lot of people are like, oh, Belgium have got a great team. Well, they've got a great team, but they've not been tested yet, and England haven't been tested yet. So let's just see what happens, really, isn't it? Let's see what happens, isn't it? You know. I like Japan, though. They move the ball around well. They do. You know, Friday, just to let people know, Friday there's no World Cup games at all. You might be interested in that, you might not. 25 minutes gone. That's the ball. Cuadrado will have that. Falcao, pass it. Oh. If Falcao had got out the bloody way then, Rodriguez plays the ball through. He just needs to get out the way, Falcao, and let Cuadrado go for it. He's quick. That's Falcao's biggest problem, is he doesn't have the pace anymore. That should be a yellow card on James Rodriguez as well. He gets absolutely pummeled. Quintero with the cross, with the corner. It's only one day, Sally. Only one day on Friday, and then the knockout stages start on Saturday. So we'll be back again. But Friday, there's no football on Friday for the first time in what will be over 2 weeks. So, and then I think the knockout stages go through till Tuesday. Then Wednesday, Thursday, the following week is no games, and then the quarterfinals are over that weekend. And then we got midweek semi-finals. So, you know. The thing is, you're not going to go more than a few days without football anymore, because I know as a United fan, World Cup final is on a Sunday, and then United play their first US tour game, I think, the following Saturday. So, loads going on. Mark, who would you rather play, Senegal or Japan? I think that's a bit presumptuous, to be honest, Kieran, because I still think that Poland or Colombia could top the group. The reality is, if one of these teams can win, they will still be the favourites. Like, Colombia will be favourites to beat Senegal, and Poland will be the favourites to beat Japan. The trouble is, if one of them lose, they're out anyway, so... But I would like England to play in order of these four teams. Japan would be my first choice. Senegal would be my second choice because defensively they look a mess. Poland would be my third choice, and Colombia would be my last choice because England struggle against South American teams. Although in this World Cup so far they are confounding those preconceptions. Really, last minute winners. Destroying minnows. But Colombia have started off well here. Who do I think will win between Argentina or Nigeria, says FT Mohammed. Very interesting I think Argentina are favourites against Nigeria, but what you've got there is you've got a team that's lost, a manager who's lost the dressing room, players who've lost interest, and then you've got Nigeria who are playing as a team. And how many times do we see that? A team can beat a bunch of individuals. So I think Argentina are going to have to turn it around big time just to win that. But the problem Argentina have got is they won't finish top of their group anyway. Croatia will. So they'll have to play France in the next knockout game. So I'm not really bothered who wins. In some ways, I think Argentina versus France would be really interesting. But France would probably win because Argentina don't have a midfield. Remember to subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. And we're trying to get up to 39,000 today. So if you are new, we're doing a World Cup watch along for every single game. I've enjoyed this game so far because although it's 0-0, it's knife edge for both teams. Lose and you're out. Draw, you've still got a bit of a chance. Win, you've got a very good chance. So, and it's quite evenly matched. Both teams messed up in their first game. Poland against Senegal, I don't know how. Well, I do know how because Senegal are a good team. But in relation to Colombia, 10 men. And Japan picked them off in that second half. So, but this is quite evenly matched at the moment. I'd say Mick Grimm says go Poland. Badrab says, hey Mark, it's been a while. How are you doing? I'm all right, mate. How are you? This World Cup has been great because it's been unpredictable, says Ben France. Who's looking the better team then? Says Sander, and it is the real one. I'd say it's quite equal, really. I'd say Colombia probably looks slightly better, but I wouldn't write home about it. I think it's still very much in the balance. Come on, Colombia, says 300. Could we see a 0-0 draw, says Kunal. Cigar Patnik, I would like a draw, to be honest, because I think it would make it ridiculously exciting for the next game, because that would mean that they can all end up on 4 points, but I don't think either of them are going to play for a draw, are they? There might be an injury here. I think there is an injury. We're going to see a substitution. I'll tell you what I love about the World Cup, though, is that actually it matters, doesn't it? They're all playing for the nation. They're all up for it. So number 15 is going to come on, which is Yurib. And he plays for America. Not the country. That would be ridiculous. But he's a midfielder, apparently. Matos Uribe, who plays for America. And it looks like it's the Colombian left back who's coming off. It looks like it's Mojica, number 17. I'll tell you what, Sweden was better, if you're watching what I'm looking at. Is it number 17? I'm trying to get that confirmed. No, it isn't number 17. It looks like it might be Agula, number 8. It is Agula coming off. And that's a bit of a blow for Colombia, because the way he's going off, it looks like it's plays for Deportivo Cali, Agula, but it's a chance for Uribe. He plays for America to come on and do it. Portugal tomorrow night, yes. Golden Boot, very interesting. I mean, if I was Lukaku and Ronaldo, I'd be sat at home tonight saying, Harry Kane, jammy get 2 penalties and 1 that flicks off you, gives you 3 goals and puts you ahead in the Golden Boot with 5. Ronaldo, Lukaku on 4, Diego Costa on 3. I'll tell you what, I'll be very happy if Harry Kane, Ronaldo or Lukaku win the Golden Boot. I'll be very happy for all of them, because Lukaku obviously plays for my club, United. Harry Kane plays for my country, England, and Ronaldo. I love Ronaldo, so as long as one of them 3 win it, I'm not too fussed. But I still think Diego Costa could have a big say in it. Because Spain are going to go far into this tournament, aren't they? And he's their main man. Here's a good defence splitting ball there for Cuadrado out on the right. Does really well to keep it in. I think they missed Cuadrado. Quintaro Oh, I thought that had made it over the first man. If he had. Cuadrado. It's a corner. Yeah, of course, Cuadrado got taken off against Japan. He was sort of the fall guy because they went down to 10 men because of the red card. So, double jeopardy, really. Japan and Senegal did draw, Rob. So the door has been left ajar if one of these teams can win. Iran could knock Portugal out tomorrow night, Ben. They could. We'll go through that in a minute, actually, because we do need to go through what games we're going to be covering, because some games will be played at the same time. We'll certainly keep up to date. I'll probably have 2 TVs up and running, to be honest, but I know some of the games, Xander's going to do one and I'm going to do the other. So we'll have a look at that in a bit when we get a little bit of downtime, maybe at half-time. So you can map your week out. But Pankaj says this game is looking good. I'm enjoying it for a 0-0. I think I'll enjoy it a little bit more if Colombia can score. But Poland are defending well in this game. Decent cross. Again, very, very good defensively, Poland, in relation to crosses coming into the box. The positions that Falcao takes up when it's balls into the box is fantastic. He's a fox in the box. He just hasn't got that pace he used to have. I think Colombia are doing a lot better now. It's Falcao out on the left. What are you going to do? I think there's a lot more Colombian supporters here than Polish, isn't there? Which is a bit of a surprise because Poland's not that far away from Russia, and there's Poland's got a massive population. Cuadrado shoots from distance, ridiculous shooting from there, and that's a goal kick. 10 minutes to half time. Portugal to win the World Cup and Ronaldo to retire a god amongst men, says George Kyle. Rohit, if you want to watch the United Stand, you can do. It's at 9 o'clock tonight. What games are tomorrow, says Rob Barker. It's the first 2 groups. So it's Uruguay and Russia's group at 3 o'clock. And then it's Spain and Portugal's group at 7 o'clock. Portugal-Iran, I think, is the more interesting game. Because Morocco are out. But the great thing about the games coming up this week is that we'll know who's playing who. So tomorrow night, we'll know who's playing who out of those 2 groups, because so we could have Russia-Portugal in the knockout stage or Russia-Spain. We'll know at the end of every game on the evening who's going to play who in the knockout stages, and we can start to map it out a little bit. Say Colombia are in the ascendancy at the moment. My man of the match so far has been Quintaro for Colombia, number 20. I think he's really, really impressive. And I think if Colombia can get it right, I think Mina and Davinson Sanchez, they're both very powerful, quick centre-backs. Just think they had a bit of a nightmare against Japan. Maybe they're a little bit young, but cross coming in. Falcao was going up for it, but he's going to have his work cut out, Falcao. This defensive setup of Poland's been very good. Here is Quintaro. Poor pass. I've given him the kiss of bad luck there. Rodriguez to Cuadrado. Into the box. Pass 1. Pass 2. Oh, unlucky. Brilliant from Cuadrado. Skipped past 2 players there. I think he was hoping a foot might be left out. Yeah, anyone can watch the United Stand. It's a Manchester United fan channel, but you don't have to be a Manchester United fan to watch it. It's up to you. Rodriguez with the corner. Punched away by Chesney. I think that's the way for Colombia to get something in this game, is to run at Poland a bit. I think the ball's into the box. They're dealing with quite comfortably. I think use the flair players a little bit more. Here's James Rodriguez. There's the wand of a left foot. And again, Poland getting up, defending it really well. Keeping it in as well. Blasts it out for a throw-in. No, he doesn't. It stayed in. That's a mistake. Defensive mistake by Cuadrado, but he's done very well to get it back. From Lewandowski. Who looks a bit... Lewandowski and Falcao looking a bit similar in this game, really. A bit boxed out by being the only man up front, not having the pace. There will not be a goal in the first half, says Crizia Prince. Remember, subscribe if you're new. If you're new to That's Football, subscribe. We are doing watch-alongs for every single game. Third one today. We don't just do the glamour games like England. We do them all. Because we're football connoisseurs on That's Football. You and us. We love the whole lot. And, you know, you only get to know what the tournament's really about when you've watched every team play. No surprise packages on That's Football anyway. Mexico, we called it early. And Colombia were one of my surprise packages as well, but they've not really delivered. Peru as well. Peru let me down. I thought Peru were a very good team. I mean, I don't know. Did everyone watch Peru play? I thought Peru were brilliant. The support they had, the way they played football, just in the final third, they were just like, you know, it's like they were at a... I don't like to use that pun because I've used it so many times. It was like a kid in a sweet shop. They just... There was no conviction. It was like, oh, shall I have that one? Shall I have that one? Shall I have that one? Whereas, you know, if the Germans walked into the sweet shop, they'd know exactly what they want, they'd get it, and they'd be out of there. But right up until the final third, I thought Peru were good. And I predicted they'd get out of the group, and I was wrong. And I don't think Denmark are all that. I think they're well organised, and I think they've got a good keeper, but... I hope Iran do attack tomorrow night. Good little bit of play here from Falcao to Cuadrado. If it's another cross, it's another corner. I think Poland are eating up what Colombia are doing at the moment. They're dealing with the crosses into the box very easily. And there's a bit of a BBC versus ITV debate going on here. But Rodriguez, yes! Get in! Come on! Colombia score. I think it's that man... I don't know who that is. It's number 13. I thought it was Mina. It's not. I'll tell you who scored. It's number 13. It's his Mina. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with my 10s, my 20s, my 13s and my 23s. It's Mina. The centre-back. The young lad. Barcelona, apparently. Don't know much about him, but he's been impressive in this game. Get in there. 1-0 Colombia. Come on. Happy with that. Rodriguez, wonderful left foot. And 1-0. 1-0. Hashtag Colombia. Wonderful left foot. Creates it. It's a good goal. A good goal. And I tell you what, Poland had been dealing with the crosses so well, but you can't deal with that. That's what Rodriguez gives you. That absolute quality with the left foot. And if anybody doesn't know what wonderful left foot means, it's a United stand thing. I should have it on my t-shirt. Wonderful left foot. It's what I call Rodriguez because he has a wonderful left foot in relation to crossing ability. I've not seen a player like him. Beckham was the equivalent with the right foot. He's absolutely brilliant. And he's created that goal. And I think on the balance of play, don't know what people think, but I think on the balance of play, Colombia do deserve the goal. And maybe that can be the inspiration to push Colombia on a little bit here. Remember, as long as Colombia can get out of this game with a draw, they're not out. And at the moment, they've put themselves 1-0 ahead. Let's see what happens. Tyrone Williams says, I've never seen Poland so bad. They look organised, Tyrone. They look tough to break down, but they don't look very good creatively. They look really lethargic in the final third. I think that... I don't know. It's an odd one with Poland, isn't it? They're having a bit of a go at the moment. I just want to check something about Poland. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So we're about 3 or 4 minutes away from half time here. So Poland qualified ahead of Denmark and Montenegro because Denmark obviously had to do a playoff. So, wasn't an amazing group, I suppose, but anyway, Colombia lead 1-0. Yeah, I was looking into that. Colombians turning on the style, says Ezzy Jr. Akeem says that Colombia are starting to feel it. Active Dan says Lewandowski's been bad. I think Lewandowski, if he's in a team that he's got to do all the work, if he's got to do all the running, he needs creativity. I wouldn't. United aren't in for Lewandowski anyway, but I wouldn't get Lewandowski in at United when you've got Lukaku. The thing about Lukaku is that he's quick, he's powerful, and he can make runs and things happen when he hasn't got the ball. I think Lewandowski, if he hasn't got the creativity, what does he do? Damien Hosty, things are good. I hope you're all right, pal. Louise says that Poland always do well in qualifying, but never in the tournament. A bit like England, that is. Lone Wolf, I'd be stunned if Iran lost to Portugal. If Iran beat Portugal and knocked them out. But it could, it's a possibility. Offside here. On Quintaro, who's been my man of the half, really. Well, probably not. Probably give it to Rodriguez because of the goal. What a cross. Absolutely stunning cross. Come on. Super Brew's not doing that well for me, which is the Predictor League that we're doing. I'm doing okay, but I don't think I'm anywhere near the lead. Who's playing better, says Justina. Definitely Colombia. I think the first 5 minutes, Poland started off quite well and Colombia were a little bit ropey. But in the last sort of 35 minutes, 40 minutes really, Colombia have just got gradually better and better. And they've been trying to break Poland down, who they're putting a lot of crosses into the box and Poland were dealing with them. But you can't deal with a cross like that from Rodriguez. And Mina heads it home to give them a deserved lead. 1-0. And look at that. I mean, I don't know whether we're just getting shown all the Colombian fans, but that's why. That, for me, is why I want Colombia to go through anyway. Because the support and passion for their football club, their football nation, is massive. And again, it's another example of what I was talking about half an hour ago, is why I don't understand. There is so much, and have we had it in previous tournaments in Europe? So many South American nations being supported by so many people here in Russia, and it's great. Kevin O'Callaghan says, what would Rodriguez cost? 60 million? Yes, we will do England, Belgium, Lily. Colombia coming forward again. Cross. It's a monitor on. Douglas says Carlos Queiroz up against Portugal would be interesting tomorrow. Yeah, Carlos Queiroz, formerly United, but Portuguese. Iran manager. Rodriguez is starting to turn it on a little bit now. Four minutes of added time in this first half. I think Rodriguez is only about 25, 26. Well, Poland need to score or Poland are going home. But from what I've seen, I wouldn't want England to play Colombia. And that's the problem. Colombia at the moment look like a team that could finish second. And England obviously in first place at the moment. I mean, England will know all this when they play Belgium. Good tackle there. He's looked very good, Mina. Very good. Goal scorer as well. Yerry Mina, 6'5", 23 years of age. Palmeiras is where Barcelona got him from in January 2018. That's why I don't know much about him. So, 11th of January, Barcelona and Palmeiras reached an agreement for the transfer of Yerry Mina for the remainder of the season and 5 more until the 30th of June 2023. This made him the first ever Colombian to play for the club. The cost of the transfer was 11.8 million euros and his release clause was set at 100 million euros. He made his debut replacing Gerard Piqué in the 83rd minute of the Copa del Rey semi-final. There's another bloody young player been brought in by... Well, he's not particularly young, is he? But it's another good player that Barcelona have brought in. They've got a good pair of centre-backs there anyway. They were terrible against Japan, but they've been a lot better today. Davinson Sanchez, I thought, was very, very good for Spurs last season in his first year. I just thought he was atrocious against Japan. But Mina and Sanchez are the centre-backs, both young as well. I mean, if Mina's 23, I think Davinson Sanchez must be about 20, 21. So, good pair of centre-backs for Colombia. Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't want England playing Colombia. No, never in a million years. And Colombia might not get through, but I wouldn't want them playing them. That's half time. That's half time, everybody. So 1-0 to Colombia at half time. I am celebrating it because Colombia was my team that I predicted would do well in this tournament. I wanted them to do well. Obviously, the Japan loss was a setback, but after a shaky first 5 minutes, they've bedded themselves down in this game. I think Quintero, number 20, has been fantastic for them, but Rodriguez does shade it because of that brilliant cross that Mina headed home. Colombians are all shaking their hands like they've won at half time, but it's only someone needs to tell them it's a 2-half game. Anthony Martial says Senegal need a draw and they are through. Yes, if they drew with Colombia, they would go through. So Colombia would need to beat them. So Colombia have got a battle to get back into this group, but winning tonight would certainly help them. Thanks, Sean. He says that Davinson Sanchez is 24, going 25. Yeah, signed from Ajax for Spurs last summer. I think it's been a good signing for them. Colombia will not play like this for the full 90 minutes, says Chrissy Pince. And Camille says that Iran are going to beat Portugal. Well, we'll see what happens with that one, won't we? Who scored, Mark? I've just tuned in, says Maymaker. So Rodriguez, James, wonderful left foot. Left-footed cross. Mina, ahead of Szczesny, 1-0 Colombia. And it's deserved in the balance of play. Poland have been very suspect on the attack. Not really any creativity from them at all. Very, very poor, in fact. Defensively, I think Poland have been quite well organised, but on the attack, very little from them. Ed Woodward says Colombia have a solid team, and Colombia will turn up against Senegal, says Ezzy Jr. What a game that's going to be. Two fantastic sets of fans who've been really passionate in this tournament so far as well. It is half time, says Abbas, and Juan Cuadrado looks good, says Anthony Martial. Yeah, he did. Apparently Davinson Sanchez just turned 21, says Jen Ray, but I thought he was younger than that. He's 22, says Lily. Bandit Clan says Mina plays for Barcelona for a reason. He's only just signed for them, as I said. And Japan need to go, says Anthony Martial. Poland's low block is too defensive. They need to book their ideas up if they want to win this match, says No Name number 1. Who would win in a one-off match, Saudi Arabia or Panama, says Ed Woodward. I don't know. Does this mean Poland are out, says DH756. It would do. Japan and Senegal have got 4 points, so with one game to go, if you lose this, you could only get 3, so you're out. Please finish match with 3 points, says Chris Windle for Colombia. Senegal will beat the crap out of Colombia, says Crispin. I don't know, because from what I've seen of Colombia, Senegal, defensively they look so suspect. They really do. What do I think of Quintero, says MA7 Football? I really like the look of him. I mean, I've got to say, I can't say that I know anything about him because he plays for River Plate, but he looks very, very good. He's 25 years of age, and he was formerly at Porto 5 years ago, interestingly. Had a loan move at Rennes, and then he's now on loan at River Plate. So I believe he's still a Porto player. So maybe he'll be back there, I don't know. Maybe he'll go River Plate. I'm just having a quick read about him, actually. But I was very impressed with him. Very impressed with him. Looks a good player. Dean Sidder says that James Rodriguez turns 26 on the 12th of July. He's a perfect player. Should the World Cup have more countries in it, says Edgar? Oh, I don't know. I think 32 is perfect because World Cups that I've watched over the years with 32, there's a lot less poor teams in it now than there ever has been. So we're getting a more balanced playing field. Then we're going to extend it now to 46. So you're just going to get a load more games in the World Cup, which means more money for FIFA. But the viewer, we're going to get some real dead rubber games, aren't we? We're going to get more Saudi Arabia's versus Portugal's and things like that. If Senegal and Colombia draw and Japan lose to Poland, Japan are out, says Anthony Martial. Well, not necessarily, because Colombia would have 4 points and Japan would have 4 points. It would be dependent on goal difference, wouldn't it? And Louise says, the big thing I've noticed in this game is that Lewandowski can't carry Poland anymore. Right. What I promised I would do at half-time is just take a quick look at the groups and the schedules for the week ahead, because a lot of people have said what games, who's doing who, and all that jazz. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock, you've got no more 1 o'clock kickoffs. I'm not going to act, actually. I am sad that the 1 o'clock kickoffs have gone, because I really enjoyed going live at 1 o'clock with a lot of you lot and watching a game at lunchtime in the week and at the weekend. It's been really enjoyable, but what a way to sign off to the 1 o'clock games with England, 6-1. So there's no 1 o'clock games anymore. There's no 4 o'clock games. The 7 o'clock game stays, but the 3 o'clock games become... the 4 o'clock games become 3 o'clock games. So Saudi Arabia versus Egypt, which is absolutely terrible game. We won't be doing that. Or Uruguay versus Russia tomorrow. I think we're going to do Uruguay versus Russia at 3 o'clock. And then at 7 o'clock, you've got Iran, Portugal, or Spain, Morocco. Definitely going to keep an eye on both, but we'll be doing Iran versus Portugal because if Iran won, they'd knock Portugal out. And if Portugal win, then depending on how many they win by, they could top the group. So Iran-Portugal is the game that we're going to do for you tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and Uruguay versus Russia at 3 o'clock. Moving on to Group C, at 3 o'clock, it's Australia versus Peru or Denmark versus France. Now, Australia have a slim chance of going through if they were to beat Peru and Denmark were to lose to France. So I think we'll be keeping an eye on both of those games, and we will listen to the viewers as to which one they want us to do. We'll probably put a poll up tomorrow night and go with whichever game you want to do. You see, it's worth listening to, isn't it? Because we will be dictated to by you which 3 o'clock game you want us to do. And then on the evening, Tuesday night, big night. Iceland, Croatia, Nigeria, Argentina. I think we're going to do Nigeria, Argentina because that is... whoever wins that, I think pretty much will go through unless Iceland beat Croatia. But so we'll keep an eye on Iceland, Croatia, and Nigeria, Argentina. We'll do that at 7 o'clock. And then on to Wednesday, you've got 3 o'clock kickoff, which is the Germany group. South Korea, Germany, Mexico, Sweden. I think we're expecting Germany and Mexico to go through from that one. So I think the more interesting game probably is South Korea, Germany, but we'll keep an eye on both of those for you. Then on the evening, we've got Serbia, Brazil, and Switzerland versus Costa Rica, which is a very, very interesting group. Brazil, if Serbia beat Brazil, they'll knock Brazil out. If Serbia draw with Brazil and Switzerland beat Costa Rica, it will be Brazil and Switzerland go through. So we'll be doing Serbia, Brazil. And then the last day of the groups, Thursday, you've got England, Belgium on the evening, but the 3 o'clock game will be this group: Japan, Poland, Senegal, Colombia. So big week ahead, lots and lots of big games, and yeah, looking forward to it. If Morocco beat Spain and Iran, Portugal draw, then it goes down to goal difference. Okay. Where are Australia sitting in their group so far, says Kevin? They've got 1 point and they're in 3rd place. They can do it, but if France and Denmark draw, Australia can't. I mean, can Australia beat Peru? I think that Peru are a very good team. I can see them beating Australia, to be honest, which would mean Denmark and France anyway. Serbia to cause an upset, says Ben. I'm with you. I'm with you. I think Serbia needed to win that game anyway, regardless of whether they'd lost to Sweden. They needed to win that game anyway. Mini Diver says that Poland and Colombia are miles apart. England are top of the group at the moment because they've got a better disciplinary record. It's ridiculous. If you've got the same points and the same goal difference, it doesn't come down to goals scored then. It comes down to who's got the best goal difference. England have a good future. Angel Gomez, Celine. Oh, some of the young players that England have got coming through is really, really good. Japan aren't good. They are lucky, says Anthony Martial. I think they're punching a little bit. I would agree with you on that. They are punching a little bit, Japan, but I like the way they play football. I mean, with limited resources, they've done really well. And they have got some really good players, but the way they're trained and the way they're coached, you can't knock Japan, especially against Colombia and Senegal. They were behind twice. And they came back into those games. But I think especially against Colombia, when in the second half they're against 10 men, the way they destructed them with ball possession and pressing was really impressive. Cyborg says that Poland are the Saudi Arabia of Europe. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're doing a World Cup watch along for every single game. Please do get involved with the channel, subscribe and join in the discussion and the debates. It's been a cracking World Cup so far, and we're not going to have another 0-0, which is great. Here's an interesting fact for you. England are only the 5th team in history to score more than 5 goals in a World Cup game. There you go. Tell you who was a good player for Colombia, Jackson Martinez. Raji Nainggolan signing for Inter Milan. Just having a quick look on Twitter for you. There you go. Dun-dun-dun, so we're back for second half now. Cathel says Lozano to Barcelona. I think he's exactly the sort of player that Barcelona and Real Madrid go and sign, to be honest. I mean, it's the sort of frustrating thing with Real Madrid and Barcelona is like, how do you close the gap on them when they're constantly bringing in top talent all the time? And we've seen that even the lad today, haven't we? The goal scorer today, I'd not really heard anything of Mina. And then you check him and he plays for Barcelona because they signed him in January. So they just pick up the talent all the time. Yeah, I saw that, John Rabe, about Salah quitting the Egyptian national team. I presume there must be a real behind it, but I don't know. Xander Vicky says, I hope Poland make a game of this. And who do you want England to face in the round of 16, says Sam. Japan. But I don't even know if Japan are going to get through. I was saying in the first half, if I had a choice out of this group, who I would want, it would be Japan first, Poland second, Senegal third, and then Colombia. I think Poland are going out tonight, and then I think you just got to play what's in front of you. I don't want England to play Colombia because I want Colombia to go quite far in this tournament, to be honest. And I think England-Colombia would be a nightmare. I'd like to see Colombia get Belgium and England get whoever else. But if England get Colombia, it'd be a tough game. Be a tough game because England always let teams play, and if you let Colombia play, they are a good team. And we do struggle with South Americans. But as I've said, this is not like England of old anyway in this tournament. So back to kick off for the second half here. We've got No. We're off now. Falcao kicks it off. 45 minutes for Poland to save their World Cup in many... Well, not in many ways. In one way, they've got to save their World Cup here. And that means improving massively from the first half, where they were poor. Timer up for you. There we go. Poland need pace, says Salim. How many times have we said that about teams as well? In the final third, lacking pace is a real problem. Colombia have got it. Poland haven't. Good play from Poland here. Colombia trying to press them, but they've moved the ball around well there. But the header, Espina's got it. Olive all, do I see Argentina beating Nigeria? I think they're favourites to do it, but I think it's very hard, as I've said before, to go from a team that doesn't look very interested and then turn the tap on to a team that is interested. Ezzy Jr. says any European team can take this home. The South Americans are not that formidable this time round. Oh, Cuadrado's took a tackle there. Ref's playing it on. Salim says that Lewandowski needs better service, which he does. Kevin Callahan, Yeah, a lot of people were disappointed that Rashford didn't get on today, but Raheem Sterling was terrible, wasn't he? You've got to think that Rashford's going to start against Belgium, and that's why he didn't play him. Because Sterling just... I just don't think he's the answer. I really don't. Poland looking a little bit better in this half. Oh, in down the right-hand side. Cross coming back, and well defended by Colombia. Hala Madrid says, I'd rather keep Benzema, don't want Lewandowski. Yeah, the work rate that you get with Benzema is going to be far better than what you get with Lewandowski. It's going to be interesting with Real Madrid next season. I said last August that Real Madrid will win the Champions League again, and I was right. I'm going to say to you now, I don't think Real Madrid will win the Champions League next year. I suppose that would make Barcelona favourites, but I've got a funny feeling that, I hate to say this, I think Man City might win the Champions League next year. Real Madrid are going to be weakened. Barcelona just seem to be missing something. And I think City and Pep will go all out for the Champions League next year. Isaiah Daniels says Southgate benched Rashford to prove the media wrong about his leaked lineup. Yeah, probably, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, that miss from Sterling where Stones followed it up was shocking. Really, he's got to be more clinical if he's going to play up front for England, because in the latter stages you can't miss chances like that. Poland's passing is terrible, says Douglas. Oliver Banks is here. Hi, Oliver. There is a United Stand show tonight at 9 o'clock. Yep, as per usual. Sunday Night Live. We've just moved it back. We normally would be live now because it's 8 o'clock, but we've moved it to 9 o'clock because of all the World Cup games for the next couple of weeks. World Cup is still the World Cup final is still 3 weeks away. That's quite a sobering thought, isn't it? Still 3 weeks until the World Cup final. It feels like it's closer than that, but yeah, 3 weeks. Next weekend, we've got the first knockout stages. The weekend after that, you've got the quarter-finals. And then the weekend after that, you've got the final. So, it's going to leave... I was talking about this in January, and it's the same for whatever club you support. Everyone's welcome on That's Football, whatever country you're in. But I'd said this about Manchester United back in December time. I said... Getting transfer business done this summer is going to be very hard because the British Premier League, here we go, Cuadrado's in, pass it, oh. Falcao, rubbish, over the bar. With the World Cup going on, it massively reduces your time to get transfer business done. So, I don't know whether we're going to see some big transfers or not this summer because by the time the World Cup's over, probably gives teams about 4 weeks to get some deals done. So Archie says Colombia class build up. They do need the second goal. I think Chris Windle said it. He won't relax till they've got it. I'm with Matthew McFadden there. I don't know what Radamel Falcao was doing, but that was a player of his quality should have been at least getting that on target when he's unmarked on the edge of the box. A lot of people not happy with him. Yeah, we've been clashing with Love Island for the last week, mate. Here's Cuadrado. He's looked good, Cuadrado. It's that pace thing, isn't it, that not all teams have got. Rodriguez shoots, blocked. Good cross again, keeper does well. Chesney to hold it. I'm going to give this lad a shout out as well. Number 5 for Colombia, Barrios. sits in front of the back, the centre backs, allows Quintero and Rodriguez just to bomb on, and he does a good job. He's mobile. He breaks up the play. I mean, he's no Kante, but he plays for Boca Juniors, and he does the job well. I think there's another goal in this game, and it would be hard on Colombia, well, unless Poland step it up, but you feel that Poland will get a chance at some point, and one goal, is it ever enough? Jack Brown, I couldn't do that. It would destroy people. Wants me to do a video tonight with the title Fellaini signs a new contract. To be honest, I don't think there's it wouldn't surprise me if that does happen. Aman Falcao was a fantastic centre forward. He just lost that yard of pace when he had his knee injury. We're 100 subscribers away from 39,000, so if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. If you're not new, please do click the share button underneath, because that allows you to share it on Twitter and Facebook, which would be great. So thanks everybody who's getting involved in all these games. Remember, doing a watch along for every single World Cup game. Poland with the cross, and keeper's got hold of that. It's interesting with Falcao. I was talking about him in the first half because they've got Muriel, who's quite quick. They've got Baka, who's good, but obviously they pick Falcao because of his name. But I think with if they just had a little bit more pace, they're on the break here. Colombia, Quintero shoots, and that's a corner. I like Quintero. He's a good player. He is. Portugal tomorrow, Callum Roberts. There's another goal in this game, definitely, says Najib. I agree. I think if Colombia get it, it's game over. Oliver Hall says, would you rather England win the World Cup or Fellaini left? I think I'd allow Fellaini to stay at United if England win the World Cup, to be honest. Corner comes of nothing. I don't know. Do you think some players are struggling with this ball? Because we've seen a lot of shots not just go over the bar, but literally go over the bar by, you know, good 10 metres. There must be an issue with this ball. PS4 says Quintero is literally a B-Tech James. Yeah, I can sort of see what you're saying there, to be fair. Got an injury here to a Polish player. So we're just having a little bit of a timeout at the moment, which will allow me to just have a quick look at something on the nets, because somebody said at the first half that Kovacic has got a 300 million release clause, and I thought it was 45 million. So Yeah, Marker are reporting that... what a chance that was. Sorry, I'm looking at something else there and the game got off really quick. Lewandowski got in down the left. It was a good save by Ospina. It was nearly a goal. I'll come back to the Kovacic thing in a minute. I expected the Poland player to be down injured a little bit longer. Ospina, get up. God, he doesn't half like a bit of a dive, Ospina, doesn't he? He looks like he might have got a bit of a ball to the stomach. It's a long ball to the front. It's good control, and it's a good save by the keeper, to be fair, from Lewandowski. Took it down well. Shoots well, and the keeper comes out, makes himself big and blocks it. And I think he ended up with the ball in the stomach. Yeah. Might have winded himself a little bit there, but that's what your job is. Anyway, I was talking about Kovacic because I did a video on him on the United Stand yesterday because there was a story that he had a £45 million release clause. However, Marker have come out today and said that that changed last summer and his Kovacic release clause is actually €300 million. So that ends it for me. There's no way United can deal with Real Madrid with a release clause like that, so forget it. This is why Colombia need a second goal. Because as bad as Poland has been, they can always create a chance, and if they take it, all the hard work's been undone. I love Falcao, but I'd take him off. I think Colombia would work a lot better with Muriel up through the middle. Somebody with a bit of pace. Yellow card to a Polish player. Half an hour to go. See, you know what's going to happen in the last 10 minutes if this is still 1-0. Poland will just go for it because otherwise they're going home. And it's like, Colombia need to get the second goal. It's tough to say whether they deserve to be 2-0, but it's not a love bite on my neck. No, it's a spot, unfortunately. Poland, it's my from, says ex-David K. Come on, Colombia, says Louise O'Donoghue. I don't know why people... Wilf, I agree with that. What a comment. He says, why are these players signing contracts with billion-dollar release clauses? It's limiting their own bargaining power on future earnings increase. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Ronaldo has got £1 billion release clause, but so has Benzema. You know. In fact, if I should be able to just open this article for you. Where I've got a list of release clauses for some of the top players in Europe. Where is it? Here we go. I shall read some of them out to you. So, apparently, this is not confirmed, but let me just read some out. Messi has got a 300 million release clause. Suarez, 200 million. Piqué, 200 million. Busquets, 200 million. Iniesta, 200 million. Umtiti's was 60 million, which we know. Deulofeu, 35, although he's gone now, hasn't he? He's gone to Watford. Rafinha, 75 million. Real Madrid. Ramos, 200 million. Varane, 200 million. Isco, 150 million. Navas, 150 million. Apparently, Martin Odegaard, remember him? He's 10 million. But Ronaldo's 1 billion, Benzema 1 billion, Bale 500 million, Rodriguez 500 million, Modric 500 million, Toni Kroos 300 million, Casemiro 200 million, Marcelo 200 million, Dani Carvajal 350 million, Asensio 350 million. There's no point in having a release clause, is there? Really? They're just unrealistic. They don't make any sense. Louise is getting nervous. As long as Colombia don't lose, I'm alright with it, because if the reality is they're going to have to beat Senegal anyway. And if they draw, they've got a point, and then they beat Senegal, they'd have 4 points, the same points as Senegal anyway. So as long as they don't lose, I'm comfortable with it. But they should win. I don't think Manchester United have release clauses, Salim. It's a very European thing. I don't think there's a United player who's got a release clause. It doesn't really happen in the Premier League for some reason. How reliable are Marca, Hala Madrid? Are they? I know that they're the Madrid paper, but are they reliable? Michael Holdaway, there you go. Rakitic. Messi's release clause will have gone up, I am Jonesy, because those figures I was quoting were from August 2017. So Active Dan says that Fellaini's release clause is a bag of jelly babies. Yeah. And bus fare. That's it. Well, Poland are starting to have a go at this game. And I think Colombia would do well to not allow Poland to get many balls into the box. Because I think that's where they're going to threaten them. Joel says that it's a rule in La Liga that every player has to have a release clause. There you go. Chris Windle says the later it stays, the more nervous I'm getting. Chris, where are you from? You're not from Colombia, right? I think did you say you're from Peru? Let us know in the live comments where everyone's from, actually, and what time it is, and we'll shout out where people are watching from. Because obviously, everybody, no matter what club you support, what country you're in, everybody's welcome on That's Football. We've not really had any contentious issues tonight, but we normally do. That normally divides opinion, and we get into a bit of a debate, but nothing so far tonight. No VAR. We've not had a VAR today, have we? Who'd have thought that? A day without VAR. There was nothing in the England game, nothing in the Japan game, and we've not had anything tonight. There's a foul to Poland here. My car's been surprised by Poland. I guarantee it's not in a good way. We've got people in England. We've got people in London. We've got people in Colorado where it's 26 minutes past 1. That's Catholicus. We've got Drogheda for Jack Brown, who my best man lives in Drogheda. Sweden, says Hannibal. Faroe Islands, says Rogvi. Here's a cross for Poland. They've kept it in. He's cleared it. He's looking for a penalty there, but I don't think he'll get it. Cuadrado. You always get a little bit nervous for a few seconds, don't you? And that's a goal kick. Barcelona, says Nicholas Myers. Basel, says Sebastian Boises. Basel, Switzerland doing very well at the moment. Alabama in the US. Don't visit, it sucks, says Brandon. Faroe Islands, it's 8:27, says Rugby. North Korea, says Philip. Dublin, says Stephen Jordan. Nadeem, what did he say? I don't know what he said, so I haven't spoken about it. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, says Young Lord. Minnesota for Akima. Stockholm, Sweden, says Hollier. I feel sorry for Sweden after last night. Cumbria, England, says Aaron. York, says Josh. Dublin, says Toby the Greatest. Chris is English, but he lives in Peru. That's interesting. Mauritius and drinking Pepsi, says Nadeem. South Africa, says Basil. Wakanda, says Manan. Pakistan, says Sam Howes. New Jersey, says Mike. Here we go. This could be 2. Bang. That is it. And it is Falcao. You give Falcao a chance like that and it's game over. It's 2-0. It's the comfort blanket that Chris wanted. It's the comfort blanket that Colombia wanted. And it's the exit door for Poland. 2-0. 20 minutes to go. They ain't coming back from that. And it's Falcao in a one-on-one situation. And he might have lost a yard of pace. But he does not miss those sort of chances. Brilliant finish by Falcao. Lovely finish. You can't teach that. You can't teach that sort of a finish. Who provided the assist? Kevin. Was it Quintero? Some Polish woman who I thought she was celebrating. Actually, it's just despair. 2-0 to Colombia anyway. They've turned up tonight, and they were somebody I did predict would do well in this tournament. I mean, they're not home and hosed at all. They've got to go and get a result against Senegal, on Thursday afternoon, but they've given themselves a good chance. Poland have probably given themselves nil chance. It was James with the assist. All and Choco Karma says, I'm from Poland and I've just left the pub. It's disappointing, isn't it? It's disappointing. But this is very similar to the France-Peru game where there was so many Peruvians in the stadium. And there's so many Colombians in this stadium. It's like a home game for Colombia. My score prediction was 2-1 actually. So I wonder if Poland can get a goal back and make it interesting. There's number 5, Barrios, who's been very good. Just that he's that man in front of the back 4. So, substitution for Poland. Too little, too late. You would think. Colombia are a team that I wanted to do well. I've got to be honest and say I did want them to win. But if Poland had turned up, I wouldn't begrudge them. We saw this on Friday night with Serbia. Serbia are a team I wanted to do well. Switzerland deserved the result. So Quintero's coming off now. He's had a very, very good game. Number 20, he's coming off. And number 16, Lamar, is coming on. Who plays for, give me 1 minute, Lamar. He's, I think he's a midfielder, Lamar. He plays for Levante, Jefferson Lamar. from Colombia's point of view, I'd try and win this 3-0, I would, because goal difference could be big. In this group so far, Japan beat Colombia 2-1, so by 1 goal. Senegal beat Poland by 1 goal. This afternoon they've drawn between Japan and Senegal. So Colombia would be boosting their goal difference to the same as what Japan's is with a 2-0. So, and what the same as Senegal's is with a 2-0. So a few more goals would be good. Is Lewandowski playing, says Lloyd? Well, never has a more relevant question been asked. I think in the last 2 games you'd have to say that of Poland. What have they provided to him and what has he provided to them? It's they've probably been one of the worst half-decent teams on the attack, haven't they? I mean, Poland don't have the excuse of being one of Europe's lesser teams. They always qualify for tournaments, and but as an attacking outlet, they've not been very good at all. Jack Brown, yeah, if Japan beats Poland, Japan will go through. And the worrying thing from an England perspective is that if Japan beat Poland, Colombia can't catch them. So Colombia would come second if they beat Senegal. Japan would finish top, which at the moment... Oh, here we go. This could be 3. Cuadrado. He's through. He's got the pace. He makes it 3-0. Boom! 3-0. He deserves that goal. This is fun. This is vintage from Colombia. Absolutely vintage stuff. Vintage. Vintage. 3-0. Lovely goal as well. They've finally arrived in this tournament. We wouldn't want England getting these. Would not want England getting these. Their finishing there from Cuadrado is absolutely immense, and they can finish. If you give them a chance, Colombia, they can finish, and I would not want England playing them. If they can avoid this on Thursday, because they will know. On Thursday night, England will know what first and second gets. And I would avoid Colombia. I'd avoid a Colombia game like the plague. They are good when it goes. Was that a Falcao assist on that one? I missed the assist again. I saw the pass. I didn't see who passed it. No, it's Rodriguez again. Hat-trick of assists. He won't come to United anyway. He will always be. He's going to be another Vidal. He's going to be another Schneider that, you know, would love to have him at United, but it won't happen. Embarrassing for Poland though. Will they play with any pride against Japan? Or will they switch off? Oh yeah, it was that pass from James Rodriguez. I don't call him wand of a left foot for nothing. I don't. He's fantastic, and people say, "Oh, you're obsessed with Rodriguez." He wouldn't be that good at United. Why wouldn't he be good at United? He'd be a revelation in the Premier League, because the Premier League is an attacking league, and he's tough. He's a tough player. He's not a fancy Dan player. He's a tough player, and creativity-wise, he'd be amazing. I've always wanted him to come to Manchester United. Young Lord says, "Please sign him, James Ed Woodward." Again, it would mean doing business with Real Madrid that I just don't think United can do. Here comes Falcao. He's going off. He's handing the armband to James Rodriguez, who I think absolutely 100% has been man of the match. Falcao's coming off. I think, is it Muriel? No, it's Bacca coming on, isn't it? Bacca comes on. Be interesting to watch this last 10 minutes and just see what Bacca offers with a bit of pace. I prefer Muriel. I think he's got this one. But Chris, you can breathe a little bit easier now. Lovely finish by Falcao it was as well. This could backfire terribly on England, because I think if Colombia hadn't had the man sent off, they wouldn't have lost to Japan, and they would have walked away with this group in first place. I don't want England to play Colombia. I like Colombia. Obviously, I love England, but it'd be to lose one of those two. Harry Potter left foot again, says Carl. Will Graham doesn't want to play Colombia in the last 16. Chris Farley, the loan deal can only be broken by Bayern Munich if they want to break it. Why would they want to break it after tonight, you know? I don't think Backer's a hell of a lot quicker than Falcao, to be honest. Tony Alexander says that James is man of the match, 100%. He has. And let's not forget, Rodriguez had a little bit of a knock against Japan. He didn't start the game. Kevin, I would for England, I would rather they played anybody other than Colombia. I wouldn't mind playing Senegal because they're slow. And no, they're not slow. They look a bit ragged at the back. Japan, I don't think there'll be any problem beating them. But you know what's going to happen. We'll finish top of the group and get Colombia, the tough game. Belgium will finish second and get the easy game. Big Bay says England just won 6-1. We'll take anyone. This is the thing that England fans need to be very careful about. I'm an England fan and I'm not running away with the fact that we've beaten Tunisia and Panama. It's a massive step up. It's like playing the MK Dons, Panama, and then playing Man City, Colombia. It's like the jump in ability is ridiculous. Here's Poland. They should have a goal back. What a save by Ospina that was on the back post. He's injured. Look at him. Ospina again. He makes a save and he gets bloody injured. Every time he's been involved today, he's tried to go down injured. Apparently, Mina might be available for sale by Barcelona because they're signing someone called Arter or something like that. And they want Clement Longley as well from Sevilla. So he might not get many chances, to be honest. Matthew McFadden says, this serves Poland right for being so anti-football. They're just a hard-working team, aren't they, with no flair? It's very disappointing if you're Poland. Oh, Spina's injured again. Good save. I think he saved it with his knee, didn't he? I think his defender might have caught him actually sliding in. Anthony Muller says that Mina's crap. He played badly for Barca when he had the chances. Paul Gibson says the next 3 World Cups are being won by England. Pro at FIFA, I hope England don't get Colombia. Anthony Martial says Ronaldo to score tomorrow. I want Ronaldo to score tomorrow because I want him to be competitive for the Golden Boot. At least if England get Colombia and Colombia beat England, we can all support Colombia because I like Colombia. Darren Williams says the Colombian centre-backs are having a good game. They were atrocious, absolutely atrocious against Japan. Marvin Millen says James looks a cut above the rest on this pitch. Thanks for the 800 people who've tuned in tonight. You know, I do sort of make predictions before the World Cup, and I did say that Colombia, Mexico, and were the two teams that I thought could do quite well as outsiders in this tournament. So I just enjoy watching Colombia. I love watching James Rodriguez. And look, I haven't watched Colombia's qualifiers. I'm not going to pretend that I have. But when I watched them in 2014, I like them. I like a lot of the players that they've got. And James Rodriguez is one of my favourite players in world football. He's the wonder of the left foot. He's got the culture. He can run a game. I really, really like him. So I'm really pleased that Colombia have done this tonight. And I hope... Look, we're talking about England playing Colombia. Colombia aren't even through yet. If they were to lose to Senegal or draw to Senegal, they could go out. So Colombia aren't even through. They've got to beat Senegal as well. So everyone's saying, oh yeah, we've got to avoid playing them. But Rodriguez has just took a nasty tackle there. Gorelski, nasty little tackle that was. Let's have a quick look at the Polish squad actually, because it's very disappointing, isn't it? And I just don't really... Gorelski... I mean, they've got players playing for Monaco, Borussia Dortmund, Sampdoria, Wolfsburg, Hull City, Paris Saint-Germain, Sampdoria, obviously Bayern Munich, Napoli. They've got some, they've got players playing for decent clubs around the world and around Europe, and have just been a very poor side. Very, very, very poor side. Well, that's one of the worst free kicks we've ever seen from James Rodriguez. Nick, I agree with you. I think the ref hasn't had a great game. He should have given a few more yellow cards out. Ed Woodward says, the dream final for me would be Mexico v Colombia with Croatia in the semis. I'd love any of those three to win it, Ed. I'm with you. I think I'd love Croatia or Mexico or Colombia to win it. I think it's a very, very big ask, but I really, really hope that they do well in the tournament. Of course, we'll have to look at it through the week because a Colombia-Mexico final off the top of my head is impossible if Colombia finish second in their group. If they finish top of the group, because then there's a likelihood that Mexico and Colombia could meet in the quarterfinals. So I'd like Colombia to go through and play Belgium. That's what I want to see. I just read somebody on Twitter saying James Rodriguez is not needed at Manchester United because we've got Fred and Pogba. God. Some people's understanding of football it makes me despair. Yeah, we've got Mr. Inconsistent and Mr. Nobody anyone knows anything about, who neither of which is anything like James Rodriguez. You'd actually, I don't know, the mind boggles. How can you compare Paul Pogba or Fred to James Rodriguez when they're totally different players who you could actually play all three in a midfield three. You could have Fred sat at the back, although he's better as a box-to-box. He can play as a CDM. Pogba to the left and Rodriguez to the right. Be a brilliant midfield three. But we don't need James Rodriguez because we've got Pogba and Fred. Decent shot. Espina tips it over the bar. I'm going to have a little chat about James Rodriguez on the United Stand tonight. Anyway, we'll be live in 13 minutes' time, actually, on the United Stand. Good show planned tonight. Got a couple of guests on. and we'll be talking about... I'm going to talk about James Rodriguez. Bit of a defensive play on here. How did we do for subscribers? So we're 52 away from 39,000. So if you are new, make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Get involved. We're doing watch-alongs for every single World Cup game. So we're back again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. What's also back at midday tomorrow, now we're not doing 1 o'clock kickoffs, is I'm going to be back with the Transfer Daily Show on this channel as well. So we're not just about watch-alongs on here. We do other football topics and shows. So midday tomorrow, the Transfer Daily will be back on the That's Football, where we talk about all the transfer news that's been going on. So lots to get involved with on the channel. Make sure you do subscribe. Really enjoying the World Cup, and I'm really pleased tonight. What a day it's been for the World Cup. This probably would have been my favourite day so far personally, because England have done something I've never seen them do, which is batter somebody in a World Cup. That's not what we do. And James Rodriguez, one of my favourite players in world football, has got Colombia going. I was going to get disappointed with them, to be honest. I predicted that they could be a good team in this tournament, and I was very disappointed with them against Japan. But they've turned up, one of my favourite players, and it's great. I'm very happy with the day and what's gone off. So good stuff from Colombia, and a great day. And I'll be watching the highlights tonight with great joy. Great joy indeed. Carl Watkins, let me know what that's all about. Is it Goretzka? 70 million German midfielder. Is James Rodriguez up with one of them best in the world? I think he can be. I just think he needs to find a club where he's loved, where they build the team around him. But you know, you've got to be careful in the World Cup as well. I mean, you can't judge people on the World Cup. I mean, I can't say with one hand that Jesse Lingard's has scored one of the best goals England have ever scored in a World Cup, but he's not a first teamer for United, and then say James Rodriguez is the best thing sliced bread because he does well in the World Cup. It's beyond that. You've got to do it in the games that matter. And I think Rodriguez is great in the World Cups, but he needs to find somewhere. And I think Bayern Munich will probably keep him now, to be honest. They'd be mad. It can't be Goretzka because he's going to Bayern Munich. I don't know who it is. 70 million midfielder. From Germany to United. German 70 million midfielder. Can't think of anyone. Kroos. I don't think Real Madrid would sell Toni Kroos. I don't think United can do business with Real Madrid anyway. Callum's right, yeah. I heard Goretzka get mentioned yesterday, and I remember in the January transfer window, Liverpool were linked to him, and he's a good player, but it's like anybody good in the German league goes to Bayern Munich. They've got such a monopoly. Colombia fans have been brilliant, Will Graham, yeah. Great that they're going to continue in the tournament. Sorry if we've got any people who supports Poland or are from Poland. You know, I feel for you. It's... There's the bad side and the good side, isn't there? And Poland don't deserve anything from this game. They don't deserve anything from the tournament. They've been really disappointing. And I don't really understand why. Because they've got better players than some teams who've done really well in this tournament. So, I mean, you look at the Colombians, the Mexican squad compared to the Poland squad, and you've got players playing at better clubs. But they've given a bad account of themselves, and that's for sure. And They will be going home. This group is interesting now. Colombia go up to 3 points, but Japan and Senegal are on 4 points. Colombia play Senegal, knowing if they win, they can go through. But if Japan beat Poland, Colombia will be going through in second place if they beat Senegal. So that's 3 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. So really looking forward to that. And I think we'll try and cover both games for you because it's going to be really interesting. So remember, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're doing every World Cup game as a watch-along. And we're having great shows, aren't we? It's been a great day. And, you know, is that no VAR out of 3 games? As I said before, it's amazing. Really amazing. So, yeah. Paul Johnston, is the Sandro deal off, Mark? I'll talk about that on the United Stand. If you want to join me on the United Stand, I'm live at 9 o'clock. It's Manchester United fan channel. Biggest independent Manchester United fan channel on YouTube. And we're live on there in about 7 minutes' time at 9 o'clock. Talking about transfers mainly. So if you want to get involved with that, we're live at 9 o'clock. Click the eye in the top right-hand corner. Let me just make sure it works. Yeah, there's an eye in the top right-hand corner, and then it's got the link to our live stream at 9 o'clock for the United Stand. If the eye isn't in the top right-hand corner, just come out of this video and go back, because if you've been watching constantly, the eye doesn't appear. You've got to come out and come back in, and it will be there. So eye in the top right-hand corner for the United Stand, which is live at 9 o'clock. Talking about the latest transfer news. Have a little bit of chat about James Rodriguez at the start as well. More than happy to do that. But man of the match, James Rodriguez. I'm very impressed with Quintero, who's a Porto player who's been on loan for the last 3 or 4 years for different clubs, but he's been very impressive. Cuadrado's been very impressive. Didn't work out under Mourinho, did it at Chelsea, but very impressive as well. That bit of pace. But that's full time, everybody. 3-0 to Colombia. Comfortable win. Massively important win. They could have been going home tonight. Poland, unfortunately, are going home tonight. And Colombia potentially could be a team that England play in the next round. So I would look to avoid them. I think that Colombia performance tonight is one of the best we've seen in the World Cup so far. So I would look to avoid them. But that will be in England's hands on Thursday night. And they will know whether finishing top will play who and who will play who. Thanks everyone who's joined us tonight. Really enjoyed the day and all 3 streams. So thanks everyone for getting involved. I'm going to be live in 5 minutes on the United Stand. So you can either type United Stand in or you can go through the eye in the top right hand corner. We're talking Manchester United transfer news and stuff like that. I'll see you on there. If not, if you're not joining us there, we're back here tomorrow with 2 watch-alongs. So thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon. What a great game that was. And yeah, speak to you soon. Hope to see some of you on the United Stand.